Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena for the Friday, March 8th matchup between the Everblades and the Orlando Solar Bears. Will Henschel alongside Jake Maurice. And Jake, two very unlikely things happened in the last game against the Jacksonville Icemen. One, the Florida Everblades beat the Jacksonville Icemen, and two, they did it in overtime. Two things that have been very hard to come by this season, and getting them done thanks to a Mark Senden overtime winner.
Yeah, beauty of a Mark Senden overtime winner, knocking it out of the air on the rebound into the back of the net. And that was the Blades' 48th shot on net in that game. They were all over Jacksonville all night. You could see the determination in their game. They wanted that one badly, and they got it. Chances for the Blades all throughout the matchup. In each period, they had at least 10 shots. It was just, except for the overtime, of course, where the Mark Senden goal was just the second shot of overtime that got them the win. But it was just a game where Florida offensively was all over them. Matt Vernon held his team in as long as he could, but eventually broke for the Blades to get the 2 points.
David Tendick, another strong performance in net, his third straight game for the Everblades, allowing just one goal. He has proven to be a key piece for the Blades going down this heavy March stretch.
Yeah, when Cormier went up to the AHL, there was the real question of, well, what do the Blades have now behind Cam Johnson, right? Are they going to have to basically just ride Cam until the end of the year, kind of like they did last season into the playoffs? He can do it, but if you can have a reliable backup, that's much better, and David Tendick has proven through 3 games to be a very reliable backup goaltender. Excellent game, 32 saves on 33 shots against. At moments, held his team in it when Jacksonville had some rush opportunities, made some huge saves when he was called upon to do so. And yeah, he's proven to be a very reliable backup to Cam.
Oliver Chow scoring the only other goal for Florida on a breakaway opportunity early on in the third period. Then Jacksonville tied it up. So it was definitely a deadlocked first period and second period. Then the third period kind of fluctuated back and forth with the two teams kind of shifting control pretty frequently. And then the overtime came, and that's kind of been an unknown area for Florida so far this season. So not only great to get that overtime win, but like we mentioned in the pregame show, getting it done against Jacksonville, who statistically one of the best teams in not just the South Division, but the entire ECHL, and a team that up till Wednesday night, Florida hadn't beaten all year.
Yeah, and you get the win at home after 2 rough losses on the road to South Carolina. Orlando, who are our opponent tonight, they lost on Wednesday, which gave Florida a little bit of extra cushioning in the standings. Right now, going into this matchup, Florida sitting 3 points clear of the Orlando Solar Bears for that final playoff spot in the South Division. We play Orlando here tonight and then in Orlando on Tuesday, so potentially a chance for Florida to gain some real ground and push them a little bit further down the standings.
And this game tonight for Orlando will be the third of a 3-game in 3-day set, so the Solar Bears definitely starting to feel some heavy legs after a dense stretch of hockey.
Yeah, 3 games, 3 days, 3 different opponents, all playoff teams that Orlando's facing, so it's a huge stretch for them right now. They lost the one against Greenville to start things off, which was not how they were looking to start that, and then a tough matchup against Jacksonville. But Florida right now, they're feeling good. They've been good against Orlando this season, but they've weirdly struggled with them more at Hertz Arena than on the road. So here tonight, you're trying to make it back-to-back wins, gain extra ground against Orlando. You've had the extra day of rest. You want to come out real fast and get on them early.
Orlando has proven to be a very formidable opponent for Florida all season. Now, like you mentioned, 2 really good opportunities to get a couple of point swings, one at home, one on the road. But Orlando has started to miss a couple of pieces. A bunch of guys getting sent up to the AHL affiliates, the Syracuse Crunch and the Springfield Thunderbirds. So a couple of key guys for the Solar Bears missing in action right now.
Yeah, this is not a full-strength Solar Bears team, and you need to capitalize on that. You need to take advantage of the deficiencies in their lineup, particularly looking towards the bottom 6 forwards and the bottom pairings on the defense, where they have guys that aren't as skilled, certainly, as the guys that left. You want to take advantage of those guys when they're on the ice and get on them to get your opportunities.
Some new blue liners also making their debuts for Florida in that game on Wednesday against the Jacksonville Icemen. Basson and McPherson playing some pretty complete games and a couple of pretty heavy minutes.
Yeah, it certainly didn't look out of place at all in their ECHL debut, and there's a big jump from university hockey coming into pros, where you're going up against men who are playing, this is their jobs that they're playing for, right? It's just a different level, and they looked totally fine. They looked right at home playing it. I mean, Basson was on the ice for Senden's overtime winner, so the coach clearly trusting him early on, and their responsibilities are just going to continue to grow. I mean, we're getting near the trade deadline, I think about 2 weeks out from that, and given that the Blades have had guys like Zach Ewens go up to the AHL recently, there have been other shifting parts on the back end and the forward core with things like injuries. You got to have multiple guys that are able to come into your lineup and perform well every night, and those two proved, at least for game 1, that they certainly could.
Some new additions to the Florida Everblades making some immediate impacts as the Blades take a 2-1 win over the Jacksonville Icemen on Wednesday night. But Jake, Friday night time, what are the Griffith Group of Downing Fry Realty 3 keys to the game?
Well, I mentioned one. You got to get on them early. I mean, you had the day off yesterday, and Orlando did not. They had to bus down here to Hertz Arena. You got to just drive from home, right? It's your barn. You're going to have the energy from the fans. They played last night and you didn't. You want to get on them early in the first period and try and get some early goals to really just mentally take Orlando out of this game. Second off, board battles are always important. Orlando has some big physical guys that can win those battles down in the corners, out front of the net. You got to make sure when the puck's on the wall, you're the team winning it out more often than not. And then finally, rush defense. Jacksonville, especially in the first period of Wednesday's game, that's where the lion's share of their chances came from. Mistakes that allow Jacksonville to get things going on the rush. So controlling the puck through the neutral zone and then defending the rush when the other team has the puck, that can be big for Florida tonight to get another win.
Another big South Division meeting as the Everblades host the Orlando Solar Bears here at Hertz Arena on St. Patrick's Day night. We'll see you there for a 7:30 puck drop.